Since the beginning of July, Bitcoin has been stuck trading in between 120 to about 107,000. Ultimately, there has been no significant change in price since July. Despite all the drama that we saw across social media over all those months, nothing has changed for Bitcoin. We are simply in a range right now. And since July, Ethereum has been attempting to flip a previous resistance into new support. July, we were sitting right here, or actually pumping up to this zone. We broke out, touched the new all-time high, and now we are back testing the previous resistance. Ultimately, this is constructive price action. Previous resistance, new support currently. What has happened is the altcoins have seen a massive liquidation event. I think largely because there's not much liquidity in the alts right now. There was not very much interest in the altcoins. It was an easy target for bigger players to orchestrate a liquidation event. I think it was just an easy target. That's my conclusion. During that mass liquidation event, a lot of exchanges shut down. They didn't let you trade. They didn't let you buy these low levels. In fact, a lot of them traded against you. But I'm happy to say that my sponsor of this channel, the exchange that I use, BloFin, they did not shut down. You were able to operate, trade, do whatever you needed to do during that event. And I think it's important to have an exchange that allows you to trade no matter what's happening. Definitely click that link below, sign up today, take advantage of these rewards. You get 20% cash back on all of your trading fees. Deals like that are rare to come by. Click that link below, sign up today. All you need is an email, very simple to sign up. Now let's get started. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Svenson. Today is October 21st, Tuesday. We do have a Fed meeting coming up very soon. Rate cuts are pretty much as good as done. And what we saw today so far is that gold is actually down 5% today. Bitcoin is up 2% today. The S&P is up, 0.1%, but is also sitting right next to its all-time high. If I had to take a guess, probably blast into a new all-time high. Tech stocks will continue. Bitcoin will rally back towards its all-time high. Ethereum will do the same. And the holiday season will be bullish. Despite what social media has been saying, all the drama that we've seen, Bitcoin didn't have a crash. Bitcoin actually went sideways since July and barely discovered new prices above or below the range. A little wick into a new all-time high, a little wick below this range low with a higher weekly close. This is just a sideways consolidation. Bitcoin is holding previous resistance as new support. This is still very bullish, very constructive. There's no destruction of the trend. And as of right now, it is still an uptrend. This Twitter post that I made shows Bitcoin on the weekly chart. And what we have is the Gaussian channel and the yellow 50-week SMA. And these two have been one of the more important bull market support band signals in this cycle. Basically, once we start closing below the 50, and once we start closing inside the Gaussian, that's when I think the cycle is going to lose its momentum. But as of right now, we actually just had one of our highest closes. If we bounce from here, this is actually one of the zones with the largest gap between the 50 and the close. Over here, we closed right on it, right above it. This was right on it, right above it. Here we were well above it. So it's actually a fairly good close in the context of the 50 SMA. And that's why I was saying, Bitcoin didn't crash during that liquidation event. Bitcoin held its ground. It was really just the altcoins. And currently the trend is our friend, and I am still looking for new all-time highs, especially with the S&P rallying and gold now seeing rejection down 5%. Looking at the S&P here on the top and then gold on the bottom, what you'll notice is that the S&P usually gets really bullish when gold sees a major top. Then you get a breakout. Or 2011, gold sees a peak, and then once it starts to pull back, there's a major bull market that begins in equities. Of course, the dynamics are different in this cycle, but gold is the ultimate failsafe. It is a bet against optimism. It's literally a rock from the ground, right? So it is sort of the ultimate fallback asset. It's the safest asset. It's something that people hold on to during times of uncertainty. And when gold begins to lose its value again, that's a signal that people are actually becoming more confident in the overall market, and there's more of a risk-on mentality, right? Gold is really a risk-off mentality. So when it tops, there's usually a risk-on environment brewing. So, you know, it's only one day. We're down 5% for gold today. So we'll have to see, you know, how this actually plays out. But that is a pretty large swing for gold within just a day. The Russell 2000, the low cap stock index, is now looking to break out, right? And so with gold topping possibly, right? We're seeing a lot of volatility right now. If gold does slow down its momentum and the Russell begins to push higher and higher, that actually gives us the signal for a risk on environment starting. Now, of course, there's been some risk on behavior happening in the high cap stocks, and possibly you could say Bitcoin as well, because it's still pretty much right near the all-time high in my mind. But the low cap stocks haven't seen a breakout since 2021, just like Ethereum, just like the Total 3, just like the others. If gold reverses and the Russell breaks out, I think we're going to see a massive recovery for the altcoins and a big run start, right? Following the Russell to new all-time highs. The setup is the same. You know, at Total 3 at the minimum, looking for about 2 trillion on this next move up. You know, moving into the holiday season, which usually the holidays are quite bullish for crypto, especially if you're in an uptrend leading into the holidays. There's not really a question of whether we're bullish or not for Bitcoin. You really have to look at the Gaussian channel and the 50 SMA. Those two are very aligned, and as long as we're holding that and we're holding previous resistance as new support, that's all you need, right? People overcomplicate analysis a lot. People overcomplicate TA, but the simpler their approach and the more that you understand what you're looking at, the better the analysis actually is. And to me right now, it's very clear. We are in a bull market and it has not ended yet. I will say I did get a little nervous the other day when we got close to the 50 and things just seemed really bleak across the market, but the stock market is still guiding everything towards the upside, right? S&P is right next to a new all-time high. So I think Bitcoin will likely see new all-time highs moving into the holiday season, into the new year. Of course, you guys know my price target for Bitcoin has been the same for a couple of years now, 150,000 range, specifically 142,500 is my price target for the cycle. You know, I'm not expecting that to be the exact number that shows up, but it is a general target, 142,500. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sign up for BloFin if you want to have an exchange that stays active and works no matter what the market conditions are. There's currently, and also 20% cash back on all of your trading fees, guys. That is a great deal you will not find really anywhere else. Also, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, I'm doing voice chats for 2 hours, 10:30 to 12:30, and you guys can join in the Discord. I do a live stream in the Discord. You guys can ask questions, make comments, talk to me directly, watch my presentation 3 days a week. If that interests you, then join the Patreon to get access to the Discord. You can only get in the Discord by being a Patreon member, going to the settings, and linking your Discord to Patreon. Save 16% by doing the annual plan. But that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all in the next one.